Hey everyone, my name is Anthony Cofrancesco from BrainyFlights.com, and today I'm going to be talking about the different types of credit cards and my personal opinion, kind of what my experience has been with each one of these different credit card companies. So when I kind of think about credit card companies, I really look mainly at a few different brands. You really just have a few. You really have Chase or JP Morgan, you have American Express, you have Discover, you have Barclays, and then you have Bank of America. Outside of those five, I mean, there's stragglers, there's outliers. I mean, Capital One is in there too. I don't think any of their products have any value, to be completely honest. So I'll just kind of run through each of these companies and kind of what I see as the pros and cons of each one. So right off the bat, if we're talking about Chase, I'll say that Chase is a pretty good company to work with. I'd say that without a doubt, they have the best credit cards on the market, right? If you talk about the highest sign-up bonuses, the most value out of their credit cards, just all-around cards that are easy to use, have a lot of end value for the customer, Chase is definitely number one. I think this is probably the reason that they're the only credit card issuer that actually has what is the Chase 524 rule, which limits the amount of credit cards that you can actually have with them in a given amount of time. And I think the reason for this is because they know how valuable their products are, they know how much people want their cards, and so they limit that to reduce the chance of people churning through the cards. Next one on the list, obviously, is American Express. All right, American Express is a pretty big player in the market, but I think there's a couple of very interesting things about American Express. First off, their customer service tends to be out of this world good. What I really think is good for American Express is in terms of disputing a charge or when you have accidents and you have to use the insurance on the cards or things of that nature. What I like about American Express is that they work with you. They work really hard with you, whereas Chase, they tend to ask a lot of questions. They make you jump through a lot of different hoops just to, report a charge, or if you actually do have to take advantage of some of the card benefits. Chase makes it very difficult to do this. American Express, they're super easy. They're ready to work with you. They don't question a lot of, what you try to tell them. So I think that's a big benefit. Now, the one downside to American Express, and unfortunately, this is just the nature of the beast, but having American Express cards accepted is actually quite a challenge. So in the United States, it tends to be pretty good. You can use an American Express card at pretty much every major retailer, but there's always those random small businesses, for whatever reason. I understand that the fees are higher on American Express, but they won't accept American Express cards. By the way, business owners who do this, stop. It's stupid. Get yourself a Square reader and accept American Express cards. Duh, you're losing money. The thing though is once you start traveling internationally though, American Express, it's very hard to actually find places, especially if you're in Asia or developing countries, almost nowhere will they accept an American Express credit card. Now, the next on the list, which is even more along this line of difficult to use, is Discover. I absolutely love Discover. I think they've got some incredibly valuable cards. I think their customer service might even be better than what it is from American Express. And that really says a lot. Like when you get on the phone with Discover, they are some of the most friendly, some of the most helpful people. There's no late fees usually if you don't pay your bill. So it's really easy to work with. They put your FICO score on every single statement. So it's easy to track your credit and see how you're progressing. I also like it because I don't think any of their cards actually have an annual fee, and they tend to give you a lot of value for not charging any annual fee, which I think that's pretty solid. Obviously, the really bad part about Discover is once you leave the United States, it is almost impossible to find a place that will actually accept a Discover card. It's kind of annoying, but unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast there. Next on the line is going to be Barclays. I think Barclays is a pretty good company. They have a handful of cards that have some value. I think sometimes even a higher value proposition than the American Express credit cards. But cards like, for example, the Barclay Arrival Plus, I think is a very valuable card. I really like the Wyndham Rewards Visa. I think that's a great card as well. That being said, what I've noticed about Barclays is their customer service is so-so, definitely not at the level of American Express, definitely not at the level of Discover. I'd say they're probably a notch beneath what it is for even JP Morgan. What I really dislike though about Barclays is that their website, their user interface is clunky, it doesn't really look well, it's kind of hard to find your way around, and then if you compare that to even a Discover or a JP Morgan platform, there's really just no comparison. So just little things like that, I'm really nitpicking on this, but that's kind of how I feel about Barclays. Citibank, I'm kind of in the exact same situation with them. I really think that their user interface is not very good. I think their customer service is significantly lacking. Probably some of the worst customer service experiences that I've had have been with Citibank. And then with also next and the last one on my list, which is Bank of America. I don't understand how Bank of America is even still in business. I've had nothing but terrible experience. I've had business credit cards with them, I've had business checking accounts, and every single time I end up canceling my account because the way that they do things just doesn't make sense. Like, for example, a really specific example of this is I remember I wanted to set up auto pay for one of my business credit cards with Bank of America rather, and the only way that they could figure out for me to do this was to actually send in an actual form, and I had to scan something in to get them to change or set up my auto pay for that specific credit card. And I was on the phone with them for hours trying to get this figured out, and their platform, their user interface is terrible. I think they really don't have a lot of cards that have a high amount of value for the end consumer, especially when you're comparing it to a JP Morgan or even Discover or American Express. So hopefully I don't get too much hate and criticism in the comments for this. Those are just my personal opinions based on my personal experiences with all those credit cards over the years. I'm kind of curious, where do you agree, where do you disagree? And let me know down in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can also put them down below as well. And then if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and then also subscribe to this channel for more helpful videos in the future. Thanks so much, have an awesome day.